In a previous video, I talked about jobs that you can take on if you have an LLM or a law degree. In this video, I'm going to be talking about jobs that you can take on with an LLM, with a law degree, but mainly jobs in the solicitor's office if you are waiting for a training contract and you finish the LPC. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I was trying to introduce myself. And I actually said I am a wife to 4 children, so I'm going to start again. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Delphine. I am a solicitor, but I am not your solicitor. It's like you going to a doctor and just saying I have pain. The doctor would need to know whether you banged into something or something banged into you, or the doctor would want to know on a scale of 1 to 10 how strong or how high your pain is. Anyway, if the doctor doesn't know any of this, the doctor would not be able to give a prognosis or a diagnosis. It's the same thing for me as a solicitor. If I do not know your specific need, or if I do not know your circumstances, I am not able to advise you. I know that some of you want to work in a law firm on the high street or in the city or wherever, and you're wondering how you can plug into the legal field. You can become a paralegal, you can become a legal executive, you can become a legal advisor, you can become a secretary. These are roles that you can actually fill in a solicitor's practice. Many people do not know that you actually have to have a degree to be a paralegal or a legal executive. Some people just call themselves paralegals and legal executives when they actually do not have a degree or qualification for these roles. You would be working under a solicitor. However, as a legal executive, I said in a previous video, and one of you said, I didn't even know such a role existed. As a legal executive, your hourly fees are the same as my hourly fees as a solicitor. So look for that video where I talk about how much solicitors get paid. Your hourly fees are the same as the solicitor's fees, and you do not have to go through law school, getting a training contract to be able to get the same amount that a solicitor will be paid. If you want to become a legal executive, you would have to write the exams for SILEX. Look that up, get researching, and you might find that it's a better route than the route of becoming a solicitor. And the good thing is, for any of these roles, if you want to become a solicitor in the future, you definitely will have all the experience as a paralegal, as a legal secretary, as a legal executive, or a legal assistant, someone who works under a solicitor. You would have gained so much experience that becoming a solicitor will not be very difficult. Think about it this way. If you work as a paralegal, as a legal executive, as a legal secretary, a legal advisor, legal assistant, PA for a solicitor, you definitely know the routine of a solicitor. You know how to write letters because at least you type out those letters for the solicitor. You are able to call the clients. You know who the clients are. You know how to write the client care letters, which basically is the beginning and the end of the case. So you know what advice has been given to the client. And my point is, at some point, you can actually look at someone and know what advice they need. You are not allowed to give that kind of advice because it is regulated advice. However, you will be able to advise your brother or your sister who needs a solicitor because you have all this experience. There is no gainsaying then that you can actually take on one of these roles and then become a solicitor later. No experience is wasted. Now, I like this one, it's quite interesting. You can work as a cost draftsman, especially if you are that lawyer who does not necessarily like advocacy, but you like mathematics. I have 3 friends who are cost draftsmen. One of them is female, and I like to say that she's a cost draftswoman. I have 3 friends who are cost draftsmen. Cost draftsman. They are called a cost draftsman. So when I win a case, I would normally send my file to a cost draftsman with your additions and your subtraction. With your additions and your subtraction. With your additions and with your With your love for the maths, you can become a cost draftsman where you are dealing with a solicitor's files and you're adding up their costs and drafting bills for them. To be a cost draftsman, you'll be somebody who likes figures and you would take hold of a solicitor's file and you'll be able to draft a bill of cost on it. You will also be familiar with the court system because the solicitor might need to defend the bill of cost at court at what we call a detailed assessment. So I decided to throw in 2 bonus jobs that you can actually go for if you have a law degree, an LLM, or the LPC. And these are jobs that are actually useful if you decide to become a solicitor later on in life. You also can be working for the courts, Her Majesty's Courts and Tribunal Services. You can be the one on the other line picking up the phone when people call for queries as to what's happening with their cases. These are very good roles to fill in because you would have first-hand knowledge of how the courts work. If you then decide to become a paralegal or a solicitor or a barrister in the future, you would have gotten first-hand knowledge of how the courts work. Especially if you're working in the courtroom with a judge or with a magistrate. So definitely look for roles at Her Majesty's Courts and Tribunal Services. The Citizens Advice Bureau, or CAB as they normally called, is a very good organization to work with. I was saying to someone yesterday, if you volunteer at CAB, you can actually get some time off your training contract. So you can contact the Law Society to say, I have worked for 1 or 2 years or however long you've been at the CAB. But the Law Society can actually take off time from the 2-year requirements that you must meet as a trainee solicitor if you have experience at CAB. With the CAB, they're most likely going to take you on as a volunteer. Never be scared to volunteer in a law clinic, in a CAB, in a law firm, or as a barrister's clerk. This is a sure way to climb up the ladder, gain the skills that you want, so that when you put these places on your CV, your prospective employer is impressed. If I saw someone's CV and they had volunteer worker at CAB, I would be very impressed because I would think that they weren't paid for the job that they undertook. However, they gave everything they could to that job. It shows dedication. Many people do not know that the CAB actually pays people to work for them. They would normally like you to start as a volunteer, but you can actually rise up to become an advisor. And the good thing is that they actually train you. The CAB is good for advisory roles in debt matters and in benefits matters. There is no gainsaying then that you can actually take on one of these roles and then become a solicitor later. No experience is wasted. Thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to like and subscribe. And when you like, you subscribe, it shows me that you like videos like this. It also shows YouTube that these are videos you like and they will recommend more to you.